Hey, what's up? My name is Dave, and as you know, I interpret everything. Today I'm going to be interpreting Blink Twice, a 2024 mystery thriller and directorial debut by Zoe Kravitz about a young woman named Frida, played by Naomi Ackie, who's invited along with a handful of other women to a private island owned by billionaire Slater King, who's played by Channing Tatum. This is where strange things begin to occur, including unexplainable memory loss. When Frida starts to realize only she can remember certain events, she must find a way to warn the others if they have any hope to escape this island. Before watching the movie, I admit I knew next to nothing about it going in other than Channing Tatum was going to be in it, and a lot of people were likening it to Jordan Peele's Get Out. Past that, I was utterly blind going in. What I can say right off of the bat is that I had a great time with the movie, but it does take a second to really kick off. The first half of the film is a bit slow, repetitive, and sometimes even confusing, as for the most part, the film just doesn't seem to have any point. It's just following a bunch of people having a grand old time on an island. That being said, even though I wasn't fully engaged with this narrative found in the first half of the film, a lot of the stuff going on is technically important to note, and a second viewing would be pretty interesting with all the moments you might pick up on that you didn't notice the first time around. Plus, the cinematography is consistently on point. This movie is spectacular, from the sweeping wide-angle shots, to the use of lighting and color, to the carefully planned out camera work and editing. Zoe Kravitz, at the very least, knew how to keep curiosity piqued even if the blunt of the story hadn't really begun yet. That's some powerful filmmaking prowess, in my opinion. After the halfway point, though, the story really does kick off as you begin to realize, along with the main characters, what exactly has been going on the entire time, and ultimately what they plan to do about it. I can't really break it down too much past that, as that's a huge part of the movie and it's pretty spoilerific, and I even hear that the trailers give off a little bit too much in that department. So, I personally haven't seen them, and so I don't really have much to contribute on that end, but if you haven't seen the trailers and you're still planning to watch the movie, go ahead and skip the trailers. I've noticed my end score is technically a lot higher than the average score the film has been getting from audiences, and maybe that's why. I will say the film opens up on a trigger warning, which is something that I never see in movies, saying it has something to do with the abuse of power, which may affect others negatively. I won't really dive deeper than that. What I will say though is that I liked the shift in narrative halfway through and what the characters end up doing in an effort to get out of that mess. Past the really good cinematography and editing, I would also like to argue that there's a good display of performances by every single person, but particularly Naomi Ackie and Channing Tatum, who knocked it out of the park. The story mostly feels original, even though it does feel like it borrows some broad ideas from other thrillers like it, such as, yes, Get Out, but also thematically I'm reminded of Midsummer and Glass Onion. There's a very interesting and mysterious focus on snakes in the film as well, which I also found pretty fascinating. The narrative of the movie has a strong arc, making me want to go back and make a deconstructing the narrative thing on this movie, because it really did feel like the writers of the film had everything mapped out so specifically so that it worked as well as it did. The only real issue that I had with the movie was the slight lack in pacing. It takes a little bit too long to really get started. The inciting incident seems to occur halfway throughout the movie because that's when the audience figures most of it out, but really, the real inciting incident technically occurs without your knowledge. It's like, oh, by the way, this happened and here's the aftermath. Something that you rarely see in movies. The last time I saw that was in Reservoir Dogs. It's a strange choice narratively, it doesn't always work, but it also helps it stay away from being a little bit too unoriginal or copycat for other films like it. Overall, I'm going to give this movie a letter grade of A-. In terms of a directorial debut coming out of Zoe Kravitz, I was massively entertained and surprised at what we got overall. There's not much to complain about other than the pacing issue, which when you look at what's actually happening behind the curtain versus what's being told to the audience, it makes sense. It's just on the surface, it feels tedious and long-winded, and I can 100% understand why a lot of people liked the movie but didn't love it. It's hard to explain that further. But what about you guys? Have you seen Blink Twice? Are you a fan? Are you not? Why or why not? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review, whatever and whenever that may be. Until then, peace out.